Hello and welcome to another fun-filled nonsense retrospective, another After Dark episode. I'm your host as always, Rick. Joining me equally as always is Devon.
Hey.
And before we get too far into what we're doing today for our After Dark, let's start with our good old time-honored tradition of the nonsense asinine hypotheticals. And do you have one for me today?
I do. I specially prepared a lewd question, as in fiend for today.
Let's go.
Which fictional character from anything, anywhere, ever would you most like to have a naked wrestle with?
Ooh, naked wrestle. Ooh,
Now bear in mind, the character's important because they might take it too seriously.
Yeah, they might take it too seriously. Doing it with Adora, you will die.
I think Adora, you might be fine, but She-Ra, you're fucked.
Oh, yes.
Because Adora, I think, don't get me wrong, Adora will fuck you up, but I don't think she'll fuck you up super hard before you tap out.
Yeah, by that token, maybe She-Hulk.
As She-Hulk?
Yeah, because I think even though she is incredibly strong, she has a lot more control over it than any other Hulk.
I mean,
yes,
she's definitely.
Gonna win. She's gonna win.
Now, again, don't forget, the implication is it's sexy wrestling. It's just, some characters will be competitive enough to take it seriously.
Yeah, and will crunch your spine. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with She-Hulk. In the moment. Yeah. How about you? Who are you going to pick for that?
Oh, easy. I'm going to pick Ida Clawthorne from the Owl House.
Yeah, right.
Because if she's doing it for entirely funsies, it's going to be a fun time. If she decides to take it seriously, I think I can take her.
Also, she's probably the type that will start to cheat by popping her body parts off, which is something that people forget she can do.
I low-key find that hot.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
But yeah, I think those are two pretty decent answers. Rick, what's your question for me?
Mine is very definitely not a lewd one. It was just something that it popped into my head over the weekend. And you get to change reality so that you grew up with a celebrity. You can be transported to their world, or they can be transported to your world, time zone, whatever. Whichever you like, doesn't matter. Who do you pick and why?
I don't really know what the implication of the question is.
Just to be a...
So basically to be a childhood friend of a celebrity.
Yeah, to be a childhood friend or rival of a celebrity.
I don't want to be a rival. I don't think I have the ability to be someone's rival. I will pick Tilda Swinton because she's rather famous, but you don't really hear anything about her in the news. Therefore, that means she's probably not a cunt.
Yeah. The ones that you don't hear anything about are probably the good ones.
And at this stage of my life, it would probably be once a week you get a random phone call or text saying, "Hey, do you want to go to this cool place? I'm buying." I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds cool, Tilda. Thank you."
Neat. I like that.
What about you? Because you clearly had a bit more time to think about this.
Yeah, the one that made me think of this was Bob Mortimer, and it was just from seeing the shit that he comes out with on Would I Lie to You as just shit that he used to do as a kid. It just sounds like a magical headspace to have been in.
And the best thing about that as well, Rick, is that as an old man, he's got a great series where all he does is go fishing with Paul Whitehouse. So you know for a fact you could have old man fun times with him as well.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I think he's a prime pick for this kind of question.
That's a banger. I'm gutted I didn't think of it.
Yeah. But yes, today we are doing part 3 of our lewd fighter. These are characters from 18 plus franchises, and the intention is normally that they're going to be lewd. Sometimes they're not, because I ran out of things to think about. So who's going to be your first pick?
Yeah, so spoiler alert for those at home, I'm running very low on inspiration, which means I've only got 6 characters today, and I'm going to have to pull something out of my butt if Rick says one of my picks.
Sure.
So yeah, starting off, I'm going to put in one Ray Gillette from Archer.
Okay.
So we've been... Archer, as in Sterling Archer, the character, is one we've been sort of bouncing around between us for this category for a while. And I sat down and thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I think Ray would be a more entertaining character because he can do everything that Archer can, like just straight up. He's sassier, which is always a plus, and he's not quite an annoying dick. We've got enough annoying dickheads in this game just by the fact we had put in Alastor and Handsome Jack in the first installment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Ray would be more entertaining. Plus, because he's got cybernetic enhancements, he can actually believably go with demons and shit.
Yeah, going toe to toe with actual superpowered people. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the way you mentioned mentioned Handsome Jack in the first one, I could imagine Raid constantly shit-talking during his battle.
Yeah, totally.
To quote the show, he's a catty bitch. And because he's from Archer, he's had so many different costume changes, so you can have quite a few palette swaps, including one really dumb one where he's a gay biker. But yeah, I don't really know if you could do anything fancy for his special, because it would just be more gunplay or secret stealthy spy crap. But I think it's good to have another gun bro in the game. Do we have any other gun bros in this game other than Blitz?
To what I think of, I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
So we got Blitz, we've got Handsome Jack. He's kind of a gun guy, and
I guess he is more of a gun guy than anything else. Yeah, like I think we've seen him use a gun and a knife, but he's more about being in the right place at the right time than using things.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's always fun to have like an evil mastermind, and then you get to fight him, and it's like, oh no, he can actually fight. That's a problem.
Yeah. Unlike the elusive man.
Yeah, the elusive man. Oh, whatever. Well, it's not a letdown. It makes sense. It's just a cool twist that you can have, especially when it makes sense, because Handsome Jack was kind of a ruthless dickhead back in the day. We're getting a bit off topic. Ray is my first pick. I think he's a great addition. What about you? Who's your pick number one?
My pick number one is someone who is in something lewd, who is also violent. It's Kotonoha Katsura from School Days.
Fuck me, you're going to have to write that name down for me, because...
Yeah, I'll send you a picture and everything, and don't worry. So she is one of the two main romance targets from the visual novel School Days, and depending on how you tackle the game, she might end up murdering the other romantic lead.
Fun!
So, yeah.
Nothing says I love you than killing all other love interests.
She also murders the protagonist in that route, because, that's how far off the deep end you push her. This is how fucked up School Days is.
Oh, if you want to talk about fucked up hentai games, don't you worry, friend.
But, she brings the protagonist's head to the confrontation where she kills the love interest. That's how fucked up she is. Yeah, she's rather well known for her knife skills.
Fair enough.
But yeah, who is your number two?
Are you not going to do special moves or anything like that?
Well, I think we do something. You know how we do. We've mentioned like the X-ray zoom-ins before. The reason that she kills the other love interest is more out of curiosity, because she said that she was pregnant. So she cuts her open to check, and no, she's not. So a finisher where you just cut someone open just to see what's inside them is a pretty fun one. And just like in Mortal Kombat fashion, they just get up afterwards, because half the people won't be killed by that.
Wow. But I'm sorry. I'm still just thinking there's easier ways to check.
Yeah. Not everyone has an MRI scanner, though.
Oh, I don't know, man. Yeah. I think there's a few steps you can take before going, I'll gut you, because if you're on the percent chance you're wrong, you've killed not one but two people.
Yep. So yeah, how about you? Who's your number two?
Number two is quite possibly my only sus entry, because they're not technically from an 18+ game, but they might as well be.
Okay.
It's Modius from Helltaker.
Alrighty.
She is the lustful demon. She has a lot of artwork of her being a lustful demon, because that's how she be.
Yeah, and isn't it her ultimate kink, holding hands?
No, I think that's something that a portion of the fan base has invented. I think she finds displays of affection to be kinky, like
because normally she jumps straight to it.
Yeah. Like you have to refuse her advances in Helltaker to succeed, because if you accept them, you say, oh yeah, that's fine, I'll stay with you forever. And she's like, people have said that before. I'm going to now break your kneecaps to make sure that you stay with me forever.
Yeah.
She's very Amy Rose in the fact that her weapon of choice is a big fuck-off hammer.
A fucking hammer.
I wasn't going to go there, that was on you. But yeah, I am cheating a little bit as well, because there's a fan fighting game in the works, and the only two characters they've shown off are Zadrada and Modius, and you could probably just one-for-one rip her moves, and that would be that. Okay. Sorted. Her special move would definitely be her producing her hammer and smashing the lower half of people's legs into oblivion so they cannot escape.
Yeah. Good shit.
Yeah, tie that motherfucker down. Rick, what about you? Who's pick number two?
My number 2 is a bit of a gag character, but one that you could reasonably see as a powerful being. It's Maori from Big Mouth.
Who?
Maori.
I don't remember the character name.
The main hormone demon, Maury.
Oh, Maury. I thought you were saying Marie, and I'm like, who the fuck's Marie?
Well, okay. No, Maury. Yeah. So,
no, that works. I'm so sorry, Rick. Just for those listening at home, Rick's not using the best microphone, so that's probably the reason why I misheard it.
Yeah. So he is a rather large and in charge individual, and he is probably the master of the lust-based attacks.
I've got a question for you. Is Big Mouth an 18?
I think so.
I thought it was a 15. However, that being said, I'm more than willing to let it slide because Modius is definitely technically not an 18.
Yeah. The number of times he just like walks around with his pet dicks. It's the things that he does are more in line with an 18.
Like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be surprised if Big Mouth was an 18. It's just because it's this weird fucking scenario where cartoons apparently can get away with more shit than real life.
Yeah, and like the characters being kids doesn't make it any better. In fact, from our point of view, it makes it way worse because like you shouldn't be sexualizing kids in that way. The cartoon doesn't sexualize them. It's just that the detractors think that they are.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't sexualise them. They're using them to make fun of, hey, wasn't puberty fucking the worst?
Yeah. Wasn't this a wild time of your life? Remember that? Remember how cringe it was? We're going to slam it down your throat and make that into comedy. There we go. But yeah, it'd be mostly lust-based attacks, possibly a little minion summoner with his dicks.
I could see Maury being a grappler.
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, totally. And yeah, just his sheer size being bigger than most other people as well.
I don't think the thing is, I don't think he's that big. I think he's just big because he's always next to children.
Yeah, but even next to a normal person, he's wide.
I guess. One grapple he has to have, because he did it with Connie in that one episode, is where they just start fucking tussling on the floor while 69ing.
Oh yeah, and I think they mentioned it in Human Resources. The way that they end up not getting pregnant is going no baby, in mentally.
If only that is in real life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if only. So yeah, who's going to be your number 3?
My number 3 originated from the internet. It's an internet classic. It is Anon/You.
Okay. So the anonymous protagonist who probably doesn't have any eyes.
It's a bit more specific than that, because this kind of originated on 4chan, or at least that's the first place I saw it, where in draw threads you would have a blank outline of a person. Like it would just be a person body. There'd be nothing on them, no hair, no clothes, no nothing, and it just had the word "you" written in the face.
So I'm assuming these are the owner of the disembodied hands that you get in groping pictures.
I mean, one would assume, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a classic pick, a classic pull. Sometimes, why I say you / it would be basically 2 character skins, a bit like Kuma and Panda, in that you got the basic you skin where it's a paper cutout basically of a vaguely male human shape with the word you written on it, and the alternative costume would be Anon instead. So make it green and put a question mark on the face.
Oh yeah, the green question mark. Yeah. I guess you could also do the standard hentai one of person with long enough hair to cover their eyes and doesn't have eyes.
I don't like that because that's dumb. That's dumb. That's dumber. Okay. It's also a different trope than this, because that's a hentai protagonist, whereas this is you / Anon. It's different. God damn it.
Okay. Fair enough. I get it.
I know the character trope you're going for though, and usually that's a named character in the thing. They're just featureless, so you can project yourself onto them.
Yeah, like Darling half the time doesn't have eyes because of that.
Which is dumb, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know what you do for a finisher here, but I think whatever the outcome, on the win screen, you / Anon would be totally dicking down whoever they beat.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, that was my pick number 3. I think that's the wildest card I have on my list. Rick, who's your next one?
My next one is, did you know that ReZero is an 18?
I didn't know ReZero was an 18. You do have piss drinking in that, so I kind of get it.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Rem. I think she is the most combat-ready member of the cast.
Is Ram pink
also,
Rem?
No, I'm saying Rem, as in blue Rem.
Oh, sorry, microphone, my bad.
Yep, microphone, don't worry about it. Yeah, let's go with Rem. She's got the big old ball and chain and like excellent athletic abilities. We don't even see the way that she kills people the first couple of times.
Yeah, because they're trying to keep it
Subaru
secret.
just wakes up dead. Yeah, he just wakes up dead in the morning.
Was it a ball and chain? Because it's been a minute since I've watched any ReZero full stop, but wasn't it just literally a ball on the end of a stick?
I think it was on a chain, because I think she could do things with it.
Mate, it's been a while. I'll take your word over mine.
Yeah, it has been a while, but like, yeah, she basically doesn't become a combatant for season 3 because she's basically not a character in season 3. So that's why it's been a long time since I've seen her fight.
Well, here's the thing, Rick.
Yes.
I've only seen season 1 of that show.
Okay. So yeah, I think she's a very good pick for this, and just pick any number of ultra-violent things that she can do with it as things that she does as a finisher. I think at one point she just throws it so hard it just goes through someone's chest and it ends up as a window, you know?
Yeah, a meat window. Nothing better.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. Like, Rem may not be inherently sexual. However, the fact we've got a lot of characters who straight up their victory screens is just them dicking down their opponent. She's a good pick for that sort of content.
Oh, yes. She's not sexual, but she is sexualized. Yeah, the fandom really likes Rem. So, yeah. So,
I mean, for fuck's sake, what do you expect? It's a Japanese anime character in a maid outfit. They're gonna get sexualized.
Yeah. And she's the big twin as well, which is even better. So yeah, how about you? Who's your number 4?
Okay, I may have said my last pick was the wildest card, but this one is akin to Danica Patrick in Sega All-Star Racing.
Okay.
I've picked Savannah Fox from Ultimate Surrender.
Okay, I've never heard of this.
Okay, I don't blame you. It's a fucking niche thing. Ultimate Surrender is enough of a wrestling promotion that it's on the Wrestling Ricky. But it's basically a porn company. Ultimate Surrender is 3 rounds of quote-unquote fighting, and the winner of the fight gets to fuck the loser. And they're all women, and it's all about humiliation, and I don't care if I'm revealing one of my fetishes to the world. I think it's hot. Savannah Fox is run of the... The only reason I picked Savannah Fox is I went on the wiki list to find the roster, and I went, I don't know who any of these people are because I'm not watching it for the names. But they have a subreddit, and Savannah Fox is one of the few people who has an account and actively posts. So yeah.
Okay, I get it. And I'm assuming that the finisher would just be a wrestling grapple in which she wins.
Yeah, it would be that. And then she gets to do the Ultimate Surrender stuff, which usually involves, usually the doggy style position and a big fuck off dildo. But, you know, sometimes they want some pleasure too. Sometimes it involves the cunnilingus.
Yeah. I think there's no loser in that, because either way they end up with it's just they end up with the sexy times, and it's just a case of who's in charge.
Oh, there's again, you got to kayfabe this shit, Rick. You can't just
yeah.
In kayfabe, the loser fucking hates it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's my pick number 4. That is actually the last of the weird out there picks. Rick, who's your 4th?
My number 4 is Chifasa Manu. She is the big titty anime waifu who steals titties from other people, and it's not always intentional, but she's a samurai, and the idea of that franchise is that she is the only one that can do this. Other samurai ninjas can like take boobs away, but they don't steal them, they just destroy them. She's the only one that can actually steal them.
Rick, everything that just came out of your fucking mouth was nonsense.
Yes.
Okay, she's a famous Japanese samurai / ninja. She goes around cutting off tits and then adding them to her own. Now, I know what the implication is here. The implication is that I assume her breasts get bigger with every pair of tits she takes. However, in my mind, I'm picturing a Cthulhu-esque monstrosity made of nothing but tits. I
have also seen that, but... but yeah, she deflates her opponents and inflates herself, as it were. And as a samurai, a gender-neutral finisher would just be the standard samurai thing of the screen goes dark, she cuts through, and she's the one that's left standing. Because, you know, the sword doesn't only do the boob thing. It can just be a sword. Sure,
but I like to imagine that she gropes herself afterwards and breathes a sigh of relief going, oh, thank fuck, and then checks her crotch just like, oh god, oh thank god, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, totally. Because she starts to lose interest in getting bigger very early on. happen when they start to become too big to easily manage while still fighting.
I mean,
so yeah, like
it wouldn't take long. Besides, like it's not an uncommon occurrence for women with large breasts to just straight up go like, "These suck. I have back problems, and it's not my fault."
Yeah, like the episode where she reaches her largest size, she basically fights off 3 ninjas at once who are all well endowed and then basically can't move afterwards. But yeah, that's it for my number 4. Who's going to be your number 5?
My number 5 is Mary Mamiya from Starless Nymphomaniac's Paradise.
Okay. I've vaguely heard of this.
Yes, I've told you about this.
Yeah.
It
looks interesting.
It's not interesting. It fucking sucks. I played this game. I reached every ending except for one ending because I was like, I've started this hell. I'm going to at least complete. It wasn't sexy. It was an endurance thing, to be honest. Yeah, there's no good ending. The good ending is you escape with the other person, or you don't really escape so much as you let go with the other, with the main heroine, I suppose. Every other ending is awful. Fucking awful. Okay. There's one ending where you join the bad side, and even that ending's shit because it's like, yeah, nothing bad's happening to you, but everyone else still gets fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mary Mamiya is the matriarch / mother figure. She is the MILF. She is disgusting. Not to look at, but, you know, her attitude to life and the way she treats everyone is disgusting. And, yeah, it'd be very easy to have her moves just be very much like, she'd have a riding crop and she'd just beat the shit out of people with that. Just pretty generic moveset. She'd probably have a thing where she can, like, a bit like Quan Chi, where she summons, like, zombie soldiers, but they wouldn't be zombie soldiers, they'd just be drugged up fucking lunatics.
Okay.
You got 2 choices of finishing screen, I think, because one for men and one for women. The men one is going to be obvious. It's going to be the cock guillotine, one of the infamous scenes in that game.
Okay.
And, yeah, and the other one would be, I don't know, man. There's a lot to choose from. Maybe the horse scene.
Okay.
I'll leave that to everyone's imagination, because I don't want to recount it any more than I already have done. Don't play Starless Nymphomaniac's Paradise unless you're into some fucked up shit. And I mean that literally. Like, the bare minimum, you have to enjoy scat.
Yeah.
It's a common theme. It's a gross game. I don't recommend it. However, I have beaten it. I've seen all the endings. It was not a fun time. Rick, who's your number 5?
My number 5 is a guy called Reto Enjo. He's from an anime called HX Eros. And it's basically a Sentai where they fight against censorship aliens.
That's dumb. Go on.
So he would basically just be your standard Sentai guy, except whenever something lewd is happening, he has to accept it. I think they explicitly have to get naked during their transformation sequence, for instance. So that's your entry animation.
Are the censorship aliens just that race from Rick and Morty?
Well, they might as well be. They're specifically meant to be censorship bugs in that show, but they're like alien bugs. Some of which are cute, some of which are actually bordering on sexy, and like quite a lot of them are just like eldritch abominations. They make pretty good designs for like Monster of the Week kaijus or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, they in fact I think their Empress is one of the better designed creatures. But yeah, I think it would be a kind of fun one to have someone who has that kind of moveset in a game like this. The finisher would be summoning his teammates for a Prism Ranger style, or Power Ranger style ending finisher.
I mean, I was picturing the hero from Monster Quest? Dragon Quest. In Nintendo, where he just holds up his sword and then all the other fucking variants just come in and do stupid shit and then fuck off.
Yeah, I think Mega Man does that as well. Yeah, that kind of thing. But yeah, how about you? Who's going to be your final pick?
My fucking... I buggered that up, Rick. Let's go again. Rick, my final pick is Alafie's Fateburn the 16th, aka Alice from Monster Girl Quest.
Okay.
She is essentially a combination of several monsters into this form, but the most obvious one is Harpy and Lamia, because she has the bottom end of a snake and the wings. But, she can also summon out Rain tentacles, so, there's an element of bunch of things. things. In Monster Girl Quest, you're on a quest to basically slay the Monster Girl, the Monster Emperor, which happens to be Alafie's Fateburn 16th, but she's with you the entire game, and your character just doesn't know she's the evil Empress.
Yeah. And this is the one where, like, most of the scenes are just lost scenes, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Because the main deal is in order to be pure, your character can't have had sex before meeting the evil Empress. And it's really funny, because whenever you lose, you get a cutscene with the angel that set you on the quest, and she always goes, wow, you suck. But there's some monsters you've got no excuse for losing to, and she calls you out saying, you fucking disgusting bastard.
Because, like, as someone who's trying to get 100%, you will want to lose to everything at some point.
Yeah, it's one
before you find out the puzzle.
It's one of the things where I actually kind of don't like hentai games where to get the scenes you have to lose.
Yeah, I feel it.
Like, don't get me wrong, characters important to the plot, you usually get a scene with them and it's like, yay, hunky-dory. Including a not a rabid, but a really loyal, uptight, Viking-esque lizard girl, kind of like Hell. Where she will fuck you up in a fight and she'll go like, get stronger, kid. And then the next time you fight her, she's like, if you're going to fight me again, it's for real, and if you lose, I'm fucking you.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's all sorts of wacky, like with a Lamia type character, you can make all sorts of wacky moves, and you kind of have to, given the bulk of the screen they'd end up taking up.
Yeah, totally, because like you say, she's not only got that, but like can be able to summon tentacles and stuff.
Yeah, in fact, she might be a good candidate for another boss character.
Yeah, true. I'm happy with that.
But you know, I feel a bit cheeky because I'm the one who suggested all of the boss characters so far.
No, I'm perfectly fine with that, because like every other character that I've picked, I've not picked with the intention of creating a boss character, so you going out of your way to pick boss characters is fine by me.
I mean, I was just thinking on the fly. I didn't go in thinking that. It's just, you know, given, like, because I've played enough Tekken, every single Tekken big boss is massive and takes up a third of the screen.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I think she'd make a good pick. Her finisher could be anything. Her end screen would definitely be her milking whoever lost, whether that be male or female, or both, because we have at least one character like that in the game.
Yep. Totally.
But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Who is your final pick, Rick?
My final pick for today is from Monster Musume. It's going to be Sue.
Do you know what?
I picked Sue.
I was this close to picking Rhaenyra from Monster Musume. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, Sue.
Yeah, Sue in particular, because if we don't have another Monster Musume character, then she can, you know, emulate their abilities, because her number one ability is shapeshifting. But even without that, she can be a pretty good, like, ditto fighter, taking a couple of good moves from other characters. Not the best move in the game from everyone, but like top percentile moves, and just doing it slightly weaker.
I can actually fix this for you right now, Rick. We could make a Mokujin.
Yeah, sure.
Are you familiar with Mokujin?
Not, to be honest, no.
Mokujin is a character in Tekken. There's also a Tetsujin, but the only difference is one of them's made of wood, one of them's made of metal. And
okay,
they're basically a training dummy shape, and you play as them, and you never know what moveset they're going to have. But they have one character's moveset in the game, and that's their moveset for that round, and it changes every round.
Sure. They've got this a little bit in Soul Calibur. There's multiple variants. There's one that's all characters, there's one that's all male characters, one that's all female characters. And with Soul Calibur, obviously you can tell what it is at the beginning of the round, because they will have the weapon.
Well, Rick, you can kind of tell in Tekken as well, because the character mimics the stance. Yeah. But also, the most obvious one is Yoshimitsu, because all of a sudden they're holding a sword.
Yeah. Yeah. So either being a ditto fighter that does the other character's moveset completely, or one that has their own moveset based on little snippets.
So basically, it's either going to be Mokujin from Tekken, or it's going to be Super Skrull from Marvel v. Capcom.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's a good way of putting it, yeah. And the finisher would just be Slimy Tentacle Time.
Or you could have that extra Slimy Tentacle fun time with that image I sent you, where she...
Oh, yes, where she enters.
It's so... The funniest bit is her using the bladder as a swimming pool.
Yeah, and that's just stupid little face that she does.
It's so gross when you think about it, but it's such a funny image.
Yeah. It's not meant to be a sexy image. It's just meant to be funny, and it's very much succeeds at that. But yes, I think that's about it from today. So, from my picks, can you think of what was your favourite?
Well, because she was the only one I knew, it's going to be Sue.
Yeah, sure.
And I got to be honest with
No
you,
problem.
really did enjoy spitballing the gimmick, because it really is a 50-50, because you could do either.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, what about me? From my 6, who do you think was the most fun addition?
It's between Alphys and Modius. I'm going to go with Alice, I believe. It was going to be Modius until you mentioned Alice, and I was like, oh man, this has got my creative juices flowing. And yeah, she does fit as a boss character. Yes, because of the size, and also because, we've fought boss characters before, and we've seen them become playable. So it would be interesting to see a character like that toned down to a balanced playable state.
Yeah. The funny thing about boss characters, though, is even when they're in a playable state, they're bullshit.
Oh, a lot of the time, yeah. You just press backwards Y and B and you win. But yes, I think that's about it for today. If you like the video, you've got the comment section. If you like the video, you've got the comment section down below on YouTube, and if you're listening via one of the many audio platforms, you can instead send us an email, which would be at
nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com. Once again, that is nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com.
And if you made it this far, as always, you are our favourite people, and it's going to be a goodbye from me.
Bye, guys.